I'm OG, y'all new to the game.
One Piece Chapter 935 Spoilers-Luffy getting into trouble again. One Piece Chapter 934 releases last week, and for me, it's not one of the good chapters that I am looking forward in the Wano arc. However, there's always a page in each chapter which gets the reader's attention and hyped for the next chapter release. To those who are still unaware, Eiichiro Oda is taking a one-week break, which means One Piece Chapter 935 will be released next week. Since we are still waiting for its official release, let's get a quick analysis of the previous chapter and prediction for events that may happen in One Piece Chapter 935. Some of the main highlights of Chapter 934 is Sanji defeating Page 1, Eustace Kid escaped the prison as mentioned by the guards, a new character reveal, and Luffy helping the old man. By the end of the chapter, Queen has been spotted in front of the prison hearing a commotion inside the prison. With Luffy being the reason of this commotion, One Piece Chapter 935 may cover the consequences for his actions. The fact that there are no available leaks for this chapter yet, One Piece fans are speculating what will happen in Chapter 935. One of the most obvious events that may happen is Luffy being tortured by Queen as a punishment. There's a chance that this scenario is the best time to commence the rescue operation planned by Rizzo. Going back to the new character reveal, the old guy that was rescued by Eustace Kid and Luffy is actually a former leader of the Yakuza gang. This revelation will surely make a huge impact on the storyline as it goes forward. As mentioned above, One Piece Manga 934 is not coming this week, which means it will be available on March 11th along with the weekly Shonen Jump magazine issue. Digital scans usually release days earlier, so you might want to check your favorite manga provider for the latest One Piece chapter issue. Another theory of One Piece Chapter 935: Big Mom helps Luffy escape. We'll be talking about One Piece 935. Last week's chapter gave us a lot of information at once, and at times it felt like too much to take. However, I enjoyed every bit of the previous chapter, and I think that it has been one of the best chapters in the entire Wano arc. First, we saw what was happening at the end of the Big Mom Pirates. It seems they are worried about Mama, and since King is patrolling the skies, there will be a lot of trouble in order for them to enter the country. At the same time, we see Big Mom and her group moving towards Udon, where Chopper and the others are taking her. The reason behind Mama going there is to free Luffy. But in her mind, she's doing it for the Oshiruko. At the same time, we see Nami and the others at Ringo, where they are planning their next move. It seems that there is trouble all around, and they want to check if Otoko is fine too. Moving on, at Ebisu Town, Law finds out that Kid had now escaped from the prison. However, at the same time, Luffy hasn't. Luffy saves Hyugoro again, and that's when Queen comes to the prison as well. So, now let's look at what the next chapter of One Piece will give to us. One Piece Chapter 935 will probably focus on the mine prison. We all know that Eustace Kid has now escaped. Luffy is the only one present at the prison, and he will certainly have a rough time with Queen there. We all know that Rizzo is in prison already. Queen will likely torture Luffy, but I think Rizzo will come to stall him for a bit. Towards the end of the fight, we might see Big Mom entering the fight, and then we may see the fight entering its final stage with Big Mom fighting against Queen the Plague.